I always knew my sister would try to destroy my dreams. I just didn't expect her to be so obvious about it. Maybe it's a sign? Bridget's smirk made my blood run cold as I tore through my bedroom for the third time. My passport had to be here somewhere. I'd placed it in my travel folder just yesterday, triple-checked it before bed. Now, less than 48 hours before my flight to Rome, it had vanished. I'm Olive, and I've spent 19 years being the family disappointment. Not because I've done anything wrong, quite the opposite. I study too hard, dream too big, and worst of all, I refuse to accept that my younger sister is the sun our family orbits around. "Mom!" I called out, trying to keep my voice steady. "Have you seen my passport?" "Honey, you probably misplaced it." Mom's voice drifted up from downstairs, dripping with that familiar condescension. "You know how scattered you get when you're stressed." I caught Bridget's reflection in my mirror as she leaned against my doorframe, twirling a strand of her perfect blonde hair. "You know, Olive, maybe this is God's way of telling you to stay home. You're not exactly international material." The scholarship letter on my desk begged to differ. Full ride, prestigious global policy program, selected from thousands of applicants. I'd kept it secret until the last possible moment, knowing what would happen when I told them. "I got into the program fair and square," I said, my hands shaking as I checked my drawer again. "Why can't you just be happy for me?" "Oh, I'm always happy for you," Bridget cooed, stepping into my room uninvited. "I just worry. Remember your science fair project? How it mysteriously caught fire the night before? Or your prom dress that somehow got bleach on it? You're just so unlucky." My jaw clenched. Those weren't accidents, and we both knew it. Just like my missing passport wasn't an accident. "Olive!" Dad's voice boomed from downstairs. "Family meeting. Now." I followed Bridget down to our pristine living room, where Mom and Dad sat like judges ready to deliver a verdict. Mom's cross necklace caught the light as she patted the space beside her. "Sweetheart, we need to talk about this scholarship situation." "There's nothing to talk about," I said, remaining standing. "I earned this. I'm going." "Without a passport?" Dad raised an eyebrow. "Be realistic, honey. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise. You're not ready for something like this." "I'm more than ready." "She's just jealous," Bridget cut in, her voice trembling with fake tears. "Ever since I got asked to be youth pastor, she's been trying to one-up me. Now she's making up stories about missing passports to get attention." "I'm not making anything up." But even as I said it, I watched Mom pull Bridget into a hug, shooting me that look, the one that said I was being difficult again, causing problems, hurting my sister. "Olive," Mom sighed, "sometimes God closes doors for a reason. Remember what Pastor Mike said about contentment?" I felt something snap inside me. Not violently, more like a quiet click, a lock turning. "You're right," I said, surprising them all. "Maybe I should pray about it." "That's my girl," Dad smiled, relieved I was finally being reasonable. "I think I need some time alone," I added, heading for the stairs, "to process everything." "Of course, sweetie," Mom called after me. "I'll bring you some tea later." Back in my room, I closed the door and pulled out my phone. My hands weren't shaking anymore as I typed a message to Jamal. "Plan Alpha is a go." His response came instantly. "Backup passport ready. You sure about this?" I glanced at my window, where I could see Bridget in her room across the yard, already on FaceTime with her friends, probably spreading the news of my latest failure. She caught my eye and blew me a kiss. I thought about all the years of sabotage, the constant gaslighting, the way they'd tried to clip my wings while praising Bridget for every minor achievement. They thought they had me figured out, the quiet, compliant eldest daughter who would eventually accept her place in their shadow. They had no idea what was coming. "Absolutely sure," I texted back. "See you at 5 a.m. I heard Mom's footsteps on the stairs, probably bringing that tea she promised. Time to play my part, one last time. After tomorrow, they'd learn that some doors aren't meant to be closed, and that underestimating me was their biggest mistake. I wiped my face, ready to look appropriately devastated when Mom knocked. Let them think they've won. In less than 48 hours, they'd realize just how wrong they were about everything, especially about me. Mom's tea sat untouched on my nightstand, growing cold while I pretended to sob into my pillow. Through my bedroom wall, I could hear Bridget's theatrical phone conversation. "I just feel so bad for her," she was saying. "She's always been, you know, fragile." I checked my phone. 9:47 p.m. Time to set the next phase in motion. I walked downstairs, making sure to drag my feet just enough to sound dejected. "Mom? Dad? Can we talk?" They were in their usual spots. Dad in his recliner, Mom on the couch with her devotional book. They exchanged that look they always shared when dealing with my episodes. "Of course, sweetheart." Mom patted the couch. "We've been worried about you." I sat down, clutching my phone like a lifeline. I need to know if you've seen my passport. The one I lost a few months ago?" Dad's head snapped up. "Months ago? What do you mean, months ago?" "Oh," I said, letting my voice waver. "I guess I never mentioned it. I lost it back in March, right after I got the scholarship news. I was so embarrassed." Mom's face tightened. "March? But you just got the scholarship letter last week." "Actually," I pulled up my email, "I got it in February. I just didn't know how to tell you." "You've been lying to us?" Dad stood up, his face reddening. "For months? Like how you're lying about taking my passport?" I shot back. Bridget appeared in the doorway, right on cue. "How dare you accuse us?" "Mom, Dad, she's just trying to blame everyone else for her mistakes." Again. "I'm not stupid," I said, standing up. "You've been sabotaging me for years. The science fair project? I saw you in the garage with matches the night before. My prom dress? You were doing laundry right before it got accidentally bleached. You're being ridiculous." Bridget's eyes filled with tears. "Mom, make her stop." "Olive," Mom's voice turned sharp, "apologizing to your sister right now?" "No." The word came out calm, certain. "I'm done apologizing for existing. That's enough." Dad slammed his hand on the coffee table. "Go to your room until you can show some respect." I turned to leave, then paused. "You know what's funny? When I lost my passport in March, I went to get a replacement right away. The office said it would take 6 to 8 weeks to process." The silence in the room was deafening. "That was 5 months ago," I continued. "Plenty of time for a new one to arrive, don't you think?" Mom's face went pale. Bridget stopped fake crying. "You're bluffing," she whispered. I pulled out my phone again, this time opening my photos. "Here's me at the passport office. Date stamp, March 15th. And here's the receipt. And look, here's the tracking number showing it was delivered in May." "If you have another passport," Dad said slowly, "where is it?" I smiled. "Somewhere safe, where none of you can get to it." "You ungrateful little—" Bridget lunged forward, but Mom caught her arm. "Olive," Mom's voice trembled with forced calm, "if you're planning something foolish—" "Like what? Following my dreams? Achieving something on my own? Or did you mean foolish like stealing your sister's passport and lying about it?" "I never—" Bridget started. "Save it," I cut her off. "I don't need the passport you took. I don't need your approval. And I definitely don't need your prayers." I headed for the stairs, but Mom called after me. "We only want what's best for you." I turned back one last time. "No, you want what's easiest for you. There's a difference." Back in my room, I locked the door and pulled out my laptop. A message from Jamal popped up. "Everything's set for tomorrow. You okay?" I thought about the years of gaslighting, of being told I was overreacting, imagining things, being difficult. I thought about Bridget's innocent act, Mom's religious manipulation, Dad's dismissive sighs, Better than okay, I replied. They finally showed their true colors. My phone buzzed with texts from Bridget. You're making a huge mistake. Mom and Dad are really upset. Why do you always have to ruin everything? Please don't do this to our family. I blocked her number. Through the wall, I could hear her having another meltdown, Mom and Dad rushing to console her. The golden child's crown was slipping, and she knew it. I checked my hidden backpack one last time. Backup passport, scholarship documents, plane ticket. In less than 8 hours, I'd be on my way to the airport with Jamal. Let them think they'd won tonight. Let them believe their perfect family facade was still intact. Tomorrow would change everything. I set my alarm and lay down, not even trying to sleep. The time for being the quiet, understanding sister was over. Tomorrow, they'd learn what happens when you push someone too far. And I couldn't wait. The house was silent at 4:45 a.m. when I slipped out of bed, already fully dressed. I'd barely slept, but adrenaline kept me sharp as I retrieved my hidden backpack from the crawl space behind my closet. My phone vibrated. Jamal. Outside in 5. You ready? I took one last look around my room. 18 years of memories, most of them painful. The cross Mom hung over my bed for protection. The family photos where Bridget always stood front and center. The desk where I'd studied late into the night, dreaming of escape. On my pillow, I left a note. Some doors are meant to stay closed. Don't try to find me. The third stair from the bottom always creaked, so I stepped over it. In the kitchen, I could smell coffee. Dad must have set the automatic timer for his morning devotional. The pot burbled quietly, like it was keeping my secret. A floorboard creaked upstairs. I froze. Another creak, followed by footsteps. Someone was awake. I ducked behind the kitchen island just as Bridget appeared at the top of the stairs. She was heading to the bathroom, her eyes half closed with sleep. I held my breath until I heard the bathroom door click shut. My phone buzzed again. Here. I crept to the front door, turning the handle millimeter by millimeter. The hinges had other plans. They groaned like they were announcing my departure to the whole house. The bathroom door opened. Olive? Bridget's voice was sharp with suspicion. I didn't answer. Instead, I yanked the door open and bolted. Mom! Dad! Bridget screamed. She's leaving! Jamal's car idled at the curb, headlights off. I sprinted across the lawn as lights flicked on upstairs. Olive Grace James! Don't you dare! Dad's voice boomed from their bedroom window. I threw myself into Jamal's car. Go, go, go! He floored it just as my parents burst through the front door in their pajamas. In the rearview mirror, I watched Dad run halfway down the driveway before stopping, realizing he was barefoot. Holy shit, Jamal laughed, taking the corner too fast. That was intense. Keep driving, I said, my heart pounding. They might follow us. Already planned for that. He took 3 random turns, then pulled into a 24-hour grocery store parking lot. We'll switch to my sister's car. They don't know that one. As we transferred my bags, my phone exploded with notifications. Mom. Come home right now, young lady. Dad. You're making a terrible mistake. Bridget. I can't believe you'd hurt our family like this. Mom. We're calling the police. Dad. Your mother is crying. Bridget. Everyone will know what you did to us. I turned off my phone. You okay? Jamal asked as we pulled onto the highway in his sister's Honda. Better than okay, I said, watching the sunrise paint the sky pink. I'm free. We made it to the airport by 6 a.m. Jamal insisted on walking me to security. You sure about this? He asked. Once you go through those gates? I've never been more sure of anything. I hugged him tight. Thank you. For everything. Just promise you'll actually enjoy Rome instead of plotting revenge the whole time. Why not both? I grinned. Going through security felt surreal. Each step took me further from their control, their manipulation, their suffocating version of love. My backup passport worked perfectly. The TSA agent didn't even blink. At my gate, I finally turned my phone back on. Hundreds of messages, dozens of missed calls. But what caught my eye was Bridget's latest Instagram post. A selfie of her looking sad in my bedroom, caption reading, "Sister's night in. Some people don't understand that family comes first." The comments were already rolling in. "You're such a good sister. She doesn't deserve you. Praying for your family." I smiled and opened my own Instagram, unused for months. I posted a single photo, my boarding pass to Rome, with the caption, "Some people don't understand that freedom comes first." Then I turned off my phone, tucked it away, and watched through the terminal window as my future arrived in the form of a Boeing 747. "Now boarding flight 1852 to Rome," the announcer called. I stood up, grabbed my carry-on, and walked toward the gate without looking back. Behind me lay 18 years of being told I was too much, too ambitious, too different. Ahead lay everything I'd fought for. Let Bridget play the victim. Let my parents call the police. Let them all think they knew my story. I was about to write my own. Rome hit me like a symphony. Beautiful, overwhelming, and nothing like the sheltered life I'd left behind. Standing outside Leonardo da Vinci International Airport, I finally turned my phone back on. The messages had evolved from threats to bargaining. "Mom, please just let us know you're safe." "Dad, we can work this out as a family." "Bridget, you're being so selfish." Mom hasn't stopped crying. A new text popped up from an unknown number. "Hi, Olive. I'm Eva from the scholarship program. I'm your assigned mentor. Look for the red scarf at arrivals." I spotted her immediately. Tall, confident, wearing a bright smile along with that red scarf. "You must be our American rebel," she said, pulling me into an unexpected hug. "The program coordinators told me about your family situation. Don't worry, we've got your back." The scholarship residence was a converted monastery in Trastevere, all ancient stone and ivy-covered walls. My room overlooked a courtyard where students from around the world sat discussing politics and philosophy. "Global policy orientation starts in an hour," Eva said, helping me with my bags. "Fair warning, they're throwing you right into the deep end. The UN ambassador to Italy is giving the opening address." I must have looked terrified because she laughed. "Relax. From what I've seen of your application, you're more than ready." The orientation room was packed with scholars and diplomats. I found a seat near the front, trying to look like I belonged. "Today's first presenter," the program director announced, "is a last-minute addition. Olive from New York will share her analysis of grassroots movements in digital spaces." My heart stopped. "What?" Ava nudged me. "Surprise. I recommended you after reading your application essay. Show them what you've got." Walking to the podium, I thought of all the times Bridget had sabotaged my presentations, how my parents had dismissed my achievements. Not this time. I took a deep breath and began. Social media isn't just changing how we communicate. It's revolutionizing how we organize, protest, and create change. For 15 minutes, I owned that room. Questions flew, and I caught them all. The ambassador himself nodded approvingly. Afterward, Eva introduced me to everyone who mattered. "Olive's research on digital activism is groundbreaking," she told the program director. "We're lucky to have her." My phone buzzed. A local news website from back home had picked up my story. "Local students' dramatic path to prestigious scholarship raises questions about family dynamics." The comments section was war. "I know this family from church. There's more to this story. Good for her for breaking free. What kind of sister steals a passport?" Then I saw Bridget's latest post. A tearful video about praying for those who abandon their families. The comments were less sympathetic than usual. "Didn't your sister win some big scholarship?" Why would anyone steal their sister's passport? Maybe there's a reason she left. Ava peered over my shoulder. Your sister? The golden child, I said. Or she was. Well, she's about to be overshadowed. The program wants to feature you in their international promo video. Filming starts tomorrow. My hands shook as I realized what this meant. Back home, they'd be forced to watch me succeed. No more hiding my achievements. No more pretending I was the problem. That night, I sat in the courtyard with other scholars, sharing stories over wine and pasta. For the first time, I felt seen, understood, valued. My phone lit up with a news alert. Rising Leader Award nominee, announced, Olive from New York, selected for global innovation. Ava appeared with a bottle of champagne. Congratulations, though you might want to check your email first. The program director had written, Your presentation today was exceptional. We'd like you to speak at the award ceremony next month. International press will be present. I imagined Bridget's face when she saw the news. Mom and Dad trying to explain to their church friends why they never mentioned their daughter's achievements. You're smiling, Eva observed. Thinking about home? Thinking about justice, I replied. She clinked her glass against mine. To justice, then, and to the family we choose. Under the Roman stars, surrounded by people who celebrated instead of suppressed me, I felt something shift. This wasn't just about revenge anymore. It was about becoming who I was always meant to be. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Dad. We saw the news. We need to talk. I turned off my phone and rejoined the group, where someone was proposing a midnight tour of the Colosseum. Let them squirm. Let them wonder. Let them watch. I was done hiding my light. And now, our special international segment. The news anchor's voice filled my family's living room back in New York. A remarkable story of academic excellence and perseverance. Through Jamal's group chat updates, I could picture the scene perfectly. Mom dropping her coffee mug, Dad frozen in his recliner, Bridget's perfectly curated mask cracking as my face appeared on their TV screen. Olive from Westchester, New York, has been named this year's Rising Leader Award recipient, the anchor continued. Her groundbreaking work on digital activism has caught the attention of global policymakers. The camera cut to my interview, filmed in front of the Trevi Fountain. I'd worn red, Bridget's signature color, just to twist the knife. Success isn't about proving others wrong, I said on screen, looking directly into the camera. It's about proving yourself right. Sometimes the people closest to you can't see your potential. That doesn't make it any less real. Jamal's text came seconds later. Holy shit. Your sister just stormed out. Your mom's trying to call the station to correct some misinformation. The local Facebook groups were exploding. Isn't that the James family's daughter? Their church always made it sound like she was troubled. My kid went to school with her sister Bridget. There were rumors. I watched it unfold through social media. Bridget's carefully constructed image was unraveling in real time. You said she wasn't going anywhere. Bridget's voice echoed through their house, according to Jamal's play-by-play. You said she'd fail. Mom's damage control started immediately. She posted in the church group, So proud of our Olive. We've always supported her dreams. Proud mama. The comments were merciless. Wasn't this the daughter you said was finding herself? Didn't your other daughter post about her abandoning the family? Pretty sure you told my wife she was lost last Sunday. Dad tried calling again. Olive, please. Your mother's reputation at church. I let it go to voicemail. Bridget's Instagram followers were jumping ship. Her latest tearful video about family loyalty backfired spectacularly. Didn't you steal her passport? My cousin goes to your school. Everyone knows what you did. Maybe focus on your own achievements instead of sabotaging others. She deleted the video, then her entire account. Eva found me watching the chaos unfold from my apartment balcony. Your phone's been buzzing for an hour. Family drama? Justice, I said, showing her the local news website. They dug up my old academic records: straight A's, science fair wins, debate team championships, all the achievements my family had minimized or ignored. Your sister's youth pastor position? Eva read from her phone. They're reconsidering it due to character concerns. I hadn't planned that part, but karma has its own agenda. Look at this. Eva pointed to another notification. The scholarship program's PR team had released my full schedule of speaking engagements. I'd be addressing the European Parliament next month. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. People are asking questions at church. Please call us. We can explain everything. Then Dad. This isn't very Christian of you, Olive. And finally Bridget. You've ruined everything. I hope you're happy. I was. Eva poured 2 glasses of wine. To watching them squirm? To living well, I corrected her. It really is the best revenge. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Jamal. You need to see this. He'd sent a video from outside my old house. News vans lined the street. A reporter was interviewing neighbors. They always favored the younger one. That poor girl, working so hard while they praised her sister. The church is launching an investigation into the family's behavior. Mom had locked herself inside. Dad wasn't taking calls. Bridget's friends were distancing themselves publicly. Their perfect family facade was crumbling, and they had no one to blame but themselves. The UN wants you to expand your speaking tour, Eva mentioned casually. 3 more countries, all expenses paid. I thought about my family watching each appearance, unable to deny or diminish my success anymore. Every achievement would be another crack in their carefully constructed narrative. When do we leave? Eva grinned. That's my girl. Oh, and heads up. International press conference tomorrow. Any message you want to send back home? I looked out over Rome's skyline, thinking of all the times they'd told me to dream smaller, aim lower, stay in my place. Just one, I said, pulling up the camera app. Sometimes the black sheep of the family turns out to be the only one who saw things clearly. I posted it with a photo of me at the Coliseum, red dress glowing in the sunset, success written all over my face. Let them choke on it. The press conference room buzzed with energy as cameras flashed. Eva stood beside me, whispering last-minute advice. Remember, you're not just a scholarship recipient anymore. You're a symbol. Ms. Olive, a reporter called out. Your research on digital activism has caught the UN's attention. But there's also significant interest in your personal story. Would you care to comment on the family situation that's gone viral? I leaned into the microphone, thinking of all the times I'd been silenced. My story isn't unique. Many young people face family dynamics that suppress rather than support their ambitions. The difference is, I refuse to accept that suppression as love. Your sister recently posted that you're twisting the narrative for attention. Your response? I think the evidence speaks for itself, I said, pulling up a presentation slide. Here's my academic record. Here's my passport application timeline. Here's the security footage from my high school showing my sister tampering with my science fair project. I didn't create this narrative. I just stopped hiding it. The room erupted with questions. Through the live stream comments, I could see my hometown reacting in real time. Sources say your parents are claiming they always supported your dreams, another reporter pressed. Yet we have multiple church members stating otherwise. I have 18 years of receipts, I replied calmly. Would you like to see them? Back home, Bridget's carefully constructed world was imploding. Jamal sent me clips from her latest youth group meeting. How can you teach us about integrity? One teen challenged her. Didn't you steal your sister's passport? My mom says we need a new youth leader. She'd run out crying. For once, her tears weren't getting her what she wanted. Mom's desperate attempts at damage control only made things worse. She'd posted a long Facebook statement about supporting both our daughters equally, until someone shared screenshots of her previous posts dismissing my achievements. The church board called an emergency meeting. Dad stopped showing up for his men's prayer breakfast. Their social standing was crumbling. Breaking news, my phone alert chimed. Global Policy Initiative expands youth leadership program, names Olive as program ambassador. Eva nudged me. They're offering you a permanent position after graduation. Full diplomatic status. I thought of all the times my parents had insisted I'd never succeed outside their protective bubble. Now I was being offered a career they couldn't even comprehend. One more question, a reporter called out. Your sister's recent video suggested you're punishing the family. Are you? No, I said firmly. I'm succeeding. They're just not used to that. After the conference, Eva showed me the latest stats. My story had gone beyond viral. It was becoming a movement. Why Black Sheep success was trending. Check your email, she said, grinning. The White House Youth Leadership Summit wants you as their keynote speaker. I opened my laptop to find hundreds of messages from young people sharing similar stories. My family tried to stop me from going to college. They always favored my brother. You gave me courage to apply for that scholarship. Then I saw it, an email thread titled Family Updates. Mom had created it years ago to share Bridget's achievements with relatives. I'd never been mentioned. I clicked Reply All and attached my latest interview clip. Sometimes love doesn't feel like love at all. Sometimes it feels like control, like suppression, like constant reminders to be less so someone else can be more. That's not love. That's abuse dressed up as protection. Send. Within minutes, relatives I hadn't heard from in years started responding. We had no idea. Your parents only ever talked about Bridget. This explains so much. Jamal texted. Your mom just left church in tears. The pastor's wife refused to sit with her. Bridget got removed from the youth leadership program, his next message read, officially for personal reasons. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt light, free, like I could finally breathe without wondering if I was taking up too much air. Eva appeared with a stack of papers. Ready to sign your contract? The UN doesn't wait forever. As I signed, my phone lit up with one last message from Dad. We hope you find what you're looking for. No apology, no acknowledgement. Just distance wrapped in passive-aggressive concern. I picked up my phone and typed, I already found it. I found myself, the self you tried to bury. And she's magnificent. Then I turned to Ava. When's our flight to Geneva? Tomorrow morning, she smiled. The world's waiting. Let them watch from their small-town shadows. Let them see what happens when you try to dim someone's light. I was done hiding, and I was just getting started. The gala ballroom sparkled with diplomatic elegance as I adjusted my microphone. 6 months had passed since my escape, and tonight was the culmination of everything. The Rising Leader Award ceremony, broadcast worldwide. Ready? Eva straightened my navy blue gown. Your family's definitely watching. Jamal says they've gathered at your house with the church elders to pray for your soul. I smiled. Let them pray. I'm done feeling guilty for their discomfort. The program director took the stage. Tonight's recipient redefined what it means to overcome adversity. Please welcome Olive. Walking to that podium, I remembered every dismissive comment, every sabotaged opportunity, every time they'd told me to be less. Not tonight. Success stories usually start with, I had a dream, I began. Mine starts with, I had a backup passport. Gentle laughter rippled through the crowd. We talk about toxic relationships, but rarely about toxic love. The kind that clips your wings while claiming to protect you. The kind that praises mediocrity in one child while punishing excellence in another. In the audience, I spotted several ambassadors leaning forward, nodding. My sister stole my passport to stop me from being here tonight. My parents supported her decision, calling it God's will. But here's what they never understood. Sometimes love doesn't feel like love at all. The cameras panned across the rapt audience. They thought they were protecting me. In reality, they were protecting themselves from the discomfort of watching me outgrow their limitations. My phone buzzed silently in my clutch. Jamal's update. Your mom just left the room crying. Bridget's trying to live stream a response but keeps getting error messages. To every young person being told to dream smaller, I continued, to accept less, to stay in their place. You don't have to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Your potential isn't a threat to anyone except those who want to control you. Ava gave me a thumbs up from the side stage. Tonight I accept this award not just for myself, but for every black sheep who refused to graze where they were told. For every scapegoat who decided to soar instead of suffer. The applause started building. And to my family, watching from home, I paused, letting the weight of the moment settle. Thank you. Your attempts to contain me only proved how much space I was meant to take up. Your fear of my light only showed how brightly it could shine. Standing ovation, camera flashes, tears in the audience. Later at the reception, my phone exploded with notifications. Bridget had finally managed to post her response video. My sister's speech was a cruel attack on our loving family, she sobbed. We only wanted what was best. The comments cut her off. Give it up, sis. Return the passport yet? Your act isn't working anymore. She deleted it within minutes. Ava appeared with a group of UN officials. They want to expand your speaking tour. Asia, Africa, South America. Your story is resonating globally. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. We hope you find what you're looking for. The same message as before. Still no apology. Still no acknowledgement. I handed my phone to Eva. Block their numbers. All of them. You sure? They're not watching to understand. They're watching to find weaknesses, to prove they were right about me all along. I'm done performing for their approval. A reporter approached with one last question. What makes you most proud of your journey? I thought about the scared girl who'd hidden a backup passport, the sister who'd endured years of sabotage, the daughter who'd been told her dreams were too big. That I got here on my own, I said, even when no one believed I should. After the cameras left, Eva found me on the balcony. Your story's been picked up by major networks. They're calling you the voice of a generation. And my family? Your aunt called the program office. Apparently your parents are taking a break from church leadership to focus on family healing. I laughed. Translation? They can't handle the public scrutiny. And Bridget? Lost her youth pastor position, her social media influence, and her perfect daughter crown. Turns out karma doesn't take prayer requests. Eva handed me a glass of champagne. To the black sheep? To freedom, I corrected her, and to never looking back. Below us, Rome glittered like a sea of possibilities. Somewhere in New York, my family was probably crafting their next narrative about their lost daughter. But I wasn't lost. For the first time in my life, I was exactly where I was meant to be. And I was never going back to being small. The interview questions glowed on my laptop screen as I settled into my hotel suite in Geneva. A global youth magazine wanted my take on family dynamics and personal growth. The usual softball questions, until the last one caught my eye. Was revenge worth the cost of losing your family? Ava lounged on the couch nearby, scrolling through our schedule. You don't have to answer that one. Actually, I do. I began typing. Revenge implies I acted out of spite. I simply stopped accepting their version of love as the only version possible. The real question isn't whether revenge was worth it. It's whether freedom is worth the price of admission. My phone buzzed. Jamal had sent a local news clip. My parents' church was splitting over differing interpretations of family values. The pastor who'd once praised their parenting had publicly questioned their methods. Your mom tried joining a new church, Jamal texted. They Googled her first. I should have felt triumphant. Instead, I felt nothing. No satisfaction, no regret, just peaceful detachment. Ms. Olive? A knock at my door. The UN Secretary General moved up your meeting. Cars waiting downstairs. Eva grabbed her tablet. Ready to change some policies? Almost. I turned back to the interview. Success isn't sweet revenge. It's proof that their limitations were never mine. Their small dreams were never my ceiling. Their fear was never my future. The hotel lobby bustled with diplomatic activity. As we waited for the elevator, I noticed a mother and daughter arguing nearby. "But I don't want to be a lawyer," the girl protested. "I want to study art." "We're not having this discussion," the mother hissed. "Family tradition." "Excuse me," I found myself saying. Both turned, recognizing me instantly. "You're that speaker," the mother said. The one whose family tried to clip her wings." "Yes." I turned to the daughter. "Let me guess. They say they're protecting you?" The girl nodded, wide-eyed. "Protection that feels like a cage isn't protection at all." I handed her my card. "Email me. I know some great art schools in Rome." The mother opened her mouth to object, then stopped, something shifting in her expression. In the car, Eva raised an eyebrow. "That was new." "Maybe that's the real revenge," I said. "Helping others avoid what I went through." My phone lit up with a notification. Bridget had posted for the first time in months. To my sister, "I'm sorry. Not for the cameras, not for likes. Just sorry. I was wrong." Comments poured in. Character growth. Finally, some honesty. Takes courage to admit fault. I clicked her profile. Her bio had changed. Learning to celebrate others' light instead of trying to dim it. "Are you going to respond?" Eva asked. "No." I put my phone away. Her growth isn't my responsibility anymore. At the UN building, an aide rushed up. "The Secretary General asked if you'd share your personal story before discussing policy." I thought about that scared girl with a backup passport, about Bridget's first genuine apology, about that mother in the lobby, reconsidering her stance. "Tell him I'll share something better," I said. "I'll share what comes after survival." That evening, back in my suite, I opened my laptop to finish the interview. People ask if revenge was worth losing my family. But that assumes family is only blood and binding ties. Sometimes family is the friend who helps you escape, the mentor who sees your potential, the strangers who become your strongest supporters. Sometimes family is choosing yourself when no one else will. And sometimes, the greatest revenge isn't making them sorry, it's making them irrelevant to your happiness. I hit send, then walked to the window. Geneva's lights sparkled below, each one a possibility, a future, a dream unbound by anyone's limitations but my own. My phone buzzed one last time. A message from an unknown number. "I saw your speech. I'm leaving for college tomorrow. My parents said I couldn't, but I got a backup passport too. Thank you for showing me how." I smiled, remembering that first taste of freedom on the flight to Rome. "Good luck," I typed back. "The world is bigger than their fears." Eva appeared at my door. "Car's here. Ready for your TED Talk?" I grabbed my notes, catching my reflection in the mirror. No more shadows in my eyes. No more tension in my shoulders. Just strength, purpose, and the quiet confidence of someone who chose herself. "Ready," I said, stepping into the hallway. "Let's go help some more black sheep fly." Behind me, my phone lit up with another message from Bridget. Whatever it said could wait. I had a future to build, and it was brighter than any past they'd tried to trap me in. That was the sweetest revenge of all.